What's up, everybody? This is Lennon with soundandpatternsmusic.com. Today we're asking the question, how to start producing music at home. Coming up, I got 5 tools that'll get you started right away. What's up, everybody? Again, my name is Lennon Bone. I am a composer, producer, and musician. I've had the great fortune of working with artists like K-Flay and Lucius, been on a few Billboard Top 200 records, had my music and playing heard on films, commercials, television shows, things like that. Been very, very fortunate throughout my career. And my goal with this YouTube channel is really just to do more documenting of my process, putting more of that out there, and then hopefully inspiring you, giving you some useful tools and tips to get you going throughout your production and composition career. If you dig that style of content, please consider subscribing and hitting the little notification bell. I wanted to start this YouTube channel with a question that a lot of you might be dealing with right now, and that's just how to get started in general. So how to start producing music at home today. So I got 5 tools that I think are going to get you going right away. The first one of those is just your computer. So if you already have a computer, it can be a laptop, PC, Mac, desktop like I have behind me. Any of those things are going to work just fine. So some of you may not have a computer and all you have is your mobile device, so iPhone or something like that. If that's what you have, I actually do want to go over some production and composition ideas for your mobile device in a later video. But today we're thinking on a little grander scale, so having a computer as your option is probably the most ideal situation. And with that computer, you're going to want some sort of DAW or software that you can use to get started recording either your own sounds or just using the sounds that are already there, samples, things like that. Macs often come with GarageBand, or you can download that on the App Store. You can also get Logic for Mac. There's a free software called Audacity that I'll link to in the description below, as well as all the other stuff I talk about, so feel free to check that stuff out at any point. Obviously, Ableton, Pro Tools, any of those kinds of DAWs are also amazing. But again, whatever you can afford, whatever you have currently is going to be enough to get us started. So number 1, a computer with some sort of software. All right, the number 2 tool that you're going to need is either a MIDI controller or some sort of audio interface, or both, really up to you. So here I've got my MIDI controller. Obviously you don't have to use this one. There are a ton of them on the market that are great, and I'll link to a few of my favorite budget ones below. But this is the MPK 225 by Akai. Akai's known for doing a lot of really cool stuff for the hip-hop community. They got these sweet pads at the top. This thing maybe runs $300. It's nothing crazy, but M Audio, some of these other companies have great MIDI controllers for $100 or less. You can also get even those little 2-octave guys. That works just fine. The playability is going to change, and that's really what's different in the price range, is just playability, functionality as far as being able to route knobs and things like that into your DAW. But again, at the beginning, that's not a primary focus. Just having something available to you is, okay? If you have any questions about this kind of stuff, please leave it in the comments below and I'll be glad to answer those. As far as interfaces go, I'll show you a close-up of mine. It is the Focusrite Scarlett 18i20. That's what we have here in the B room. It works great. Any interface at this point that's going to convert your audio into just some sort of digital signal is going to be pretty stinking good. And once again, I'll link a few of my favorite budget-friendly interfaces below. And what that's going to do for you is allow you to record things direct in. So either vocals through a mic, some sort of acoustic guitar, drums, electric guitar, bass, whatever you got, having an interface is really going to be beneficial for you in that regard. Now, all that to be said, if you can't afford a MIDI controller or an audio interface, there is still hope. The computer basically lets you use it as all of these things. So with, I think, even GarageBand, you can go in and just use the keyboard as your keyboard. So it assigns all the notes on the piano to allow you to just play your actual keyboard on your Mac. When I was on the road doing a lot of production stuff, I just used my computer keyboard all the time. I've done plenty of projects where I've just used the computer microphone as the microphone. It doesn't sound the best, but it is an option. So you don't have to have a MIDI controller or some sort of audio interface, but I do think that if you're trying to do it on a bit of a grander scale, again, these are great options to have. So number 2, some sort of MIDI controller or audio interface. Number 3, I do think it's important to have a microphone of some sort. This is going to allow you to capture especially live instruments for your productions. Also, you can create your own samples this way, which I know for a lot of modern production is important. And just having this option of using some sort of mic is going to be helpful. So in another video, I may go over some of my favorite microphones, but if you're just looking for a quick tip, I use this guy all the time. This is a Shure SM57 dynamic mic. This thing is a little workhorse. It's been on tons and tons of records, hit records no less. And I mean, this guy's awesome. My dad gave me an old one when I got started, and I used it for everything. It's great for drums. I use it on snare drums all the time. I've even mic'd a kick drum with it. You can use it for vocals, guitars, any of that stuff. There's tons of videos on mic placement, things like that on YouTube that you can use. So this is a great starting mic. You can also just get a USB mic. Any of those will do as well. Just whatever fits in your budget is going to be a good thing to get you started. So number 3, get yourself a microphone. Number 4, if you want to start producing your music at home, probably going to need some sort of listening device. So like headphones or speakers. I have some pretty nice speakers here. In the A room of the studio, we have a few options of great monitors as well. The thing is anybody can learn to use the speakers they have and make it work. So once again, as I've said, with all this other stuff, you don't have to have the best thing. You just want to get something that is going to be kind to your ears and that's going to just allow you to start to learn proper techniques and tricks. Again, if you're looking for an action step right now, something that I would recommend on a budget, these headphones cost me maybe $100 at Best Buy. It's the Sennheiser HD 280 Pro. These things are great because they have a nice flat response. So you're not going to get a hyped low end like you might with like Beats headphones. So these are great for like mixing references and things like that as you start to really dial in your production. But again, you can use whatever you got, but having a pair of these or a pair of speakers for you to reference your productions is important. So make sure you have that. I would definitely recommend having one of these two things over just using your laptop, okay? And number 5, this is the most important tool that you need, and that is action. If you want to make great productions, you need to start today. So I'm going to give you an action step here. I want you to go and I want you to take 3 of your favorite songs that you're listening to right now. Take those 3 songs, pick the groove from one, a melody or like a riff from another, and then the chord progression from another one. And how can you combine all 3 of those things to start making your own production? There's no harm in us using our influences, using the things that we're into to really spark creativity. So go out there, if you already have these tools, pick 3 of your favorite songs, combine 3 of those elements and start making your own thing. And do your best to make it sound as good as that recording. Now, it won't if you're just using these few simple tools. That's fine. But the thing to remember is making something is the most important step, because you're not going to get great until you make a bunch of stuff. So that's your action step. Go out and make something right now. Even if you have only a couple of these tools, and you can start making something, make something and put it out in the world. Let people hear it. Get feedback. Start to develop a real sense of action, because that is the most important thing to being successful in this industry. If you dug this video, please consider subscribing, hitting that little notification bell so that you get videos coming up. I'll have more stuff in my own personal life that I'll hopefully share with you, as well as more tips from my experiences along the way. Thank you so much for being here. It means the world, and I'll see you in the next video.